Hello, everyone. This is Super Even Master here. Welcome to the 2015 Kobalt Tools 400 at Las Vegas race review here. So, as it says in the description, um, Kevin Harvick, or as I'm going to call him, Uncatchable Kevin, won today's race and making it his sixth consecutive top two finisher. We're here, and I feel like he's one of the few drivers to keep consistent, strong start to the season. While I felt like other front runners, early front runners based on the first few races, stumbled right here. And later on in the race review, I will be, basically just like asking and predicting who's going to have a great season based on the first few races right here. And also, this race at Las Vegas, uh, this race also kicks off the West Coast swing right here. And because all these tracks are on the West Coast, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Auto Club, the conditions at these two tracks are going to be hotter than what we saw at like Daytona and Atlanta, where conditions were pretty cold, if you can remember that. And a hotter track also, and when the track has like a how can I put it here? When the track temperature surface, which comes from which is basically like hotter than the air surface, and it depends on how hot the air is that predicts how hot the track is going to be. But however, the track temperature surface is, I want to say, maybe like 20 to like 30 degrees higher than the air temperature. A higher surface equals a slicker track, or in other words, like a slippery track. And we definitely saw some of that overall this week, and not just the Cup race right here. So that's just kind of something to know about this week and heading into the next 2 weeks here. But first of all, let's get into the previous notes here that I have right here, and as I'm pulling up right here, here is what I wrote down. So this is the second mile and a half race the season. The first one being last week at Atlanta, but unlike Atlanta, Las Vegas is like a totally different playground compared to Atlanta. I believe there is a slight banking difference as well as like a shape difference as well, and also just some of the fact that like Las Vegas has newer surface compared to Atlanta, but there were cases of bumps reported, I believe, in like turns one and two, and also after, and also just like Kyle Busch hitting that unprotected wall in the Xfinity race at Daytona a couple weeks ago, after Jeff Gordon hit an Atlanta wall with no safety barriers. Tracks like Las Vegas, while Las Vegas didn't like install any like tire barriers, uh, when Jeff Gordon hit the unprotected wall, it once again uh, increase the awareness that we should be having safety barriers at every single wall. And in fact, actually, I believe, I want to say it was yesterday, and yesterday was the Xfinity race at Las Vegas as me doing this live stream right here. Um, Jeff Gordon actually met NASCAR, and I don't know if that conversation was ever like video recorded or not, but Jeff Gordon, who has kind of been known over the past several years to hit walls I did have safer barriers. Um, he basically just like talked to NASCAR about, I'm assuming he talked to NASCAR about what needs to be done. And what I personally hope is that over the next like 3 or 4 years, we will start seeing safer barriers everywhere. And I do feel like that, like this year, or at least so far this year, more than ever, we are seeing one of, if not the highest call of stop walls. I would say ever since 2001, where you had where 4 NASCAR drivers all died within the span of one year. So it looks like while a change can't come immediately, I think change will come here. And also other big news surrounding the weekend was that Ryan Vickers is back in the 55 car. He missed the first two races because he wanted to just kind of recover from heart surgery they had during the off season. And if you remember, Michael Waltrip was in the 55 at Daytona, and then Brett Moffitt was in that car at Atlanta. And Brett Moffitt scored the 8th place finish at Atlanta, so a great run for him. And speaking of Brett Moffitt, because of that great finish, he was able front row motorsports announced that Brett Moffitt will actually be in the number 34. Uh, Last week it was Joe Nemechek, but Brett Moffitt will be in this number 34 for the West Coast swing. So Las Vegas being an all club, and there hasn't been no indication on whether if he'll be racing more after that. Here and now it's time to go on to practice here. Kyle Larson tops practice number 1, and I honestly thought that Kyle Larson was going to be more than that. Was going to be more of a factor right here, but it goes to show that like practice can't exactly always predict what's going to happen once the race starts, And the Jeff Gordon grabs his first Vegas pole and his final Vegas start right here, and he also broke the track record right here. And then moving on to Saturday right here, Jimmy Johnson in the 48 split both practices right here. And unfortunately for Jeff Gordon fans, this was unfortunate news right here. On the very final lap, I think it was like less than like 30 seconds to go in the final practice session. Jeff Gordon and Nick Patrick. Gordon was behind Patrick right here, heading into turns on 1-2. Patrick got loose, and Gordon just had nowhere to go right here. And while Patrick's car was able to not go to the back of the car, Gordon, who suffered nose damage, inside damage, had to go to the back of the car. Thus not make him start on the pole. And also, I also kind of feel like that in some ways it just kind of like ruined his race day, because the thing is, he wasn't, even though Jeff Gordon was able to like approach and I think at one point be inside the top 10, he was never able to become a factor like Kevin Harvick. And so in that case, Jeff Gordon's bad luck to start off his final full year in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action is still off to a rocky start right here. And also what happened in the final practice about like I think this happened like a minute before the Gordon and Patrick incident right here. David Reagan smacked the wall in almost the exact same area as Patrick and Gordon did, which also forced him to go to the back car. And I believe Reagan was. I wanted to say he was going to start mid-pack, but I don't exactly remember right here. Anyway, let's take a break, or I need to take a break. Anyway, and now let's get into the race here. My thoughts on this Las Vegas race before I get into like lap 1 and beyond. I thought Las Vegas was a pretty like basic. I thought the race was just pretty much like a simple race. It wasn't as like what's the word I'm looking for? As wild as Daytona and Atlanta are here, but I still thought it was a decent race. Okay, I'm just trying to like collect my thoughts here, but anyway, now let's move on to what happened during the race here. Joe Logano, who after Jeff Gordon had to go to a backup car, Logano now started up front here, and Logano got the lead here. And one thing that we saw very quickly after the start, and we saw pretty much throughout the rest of the race, was that the majority of the field was pretty spaced out from each other let me say it again. Let's just say that pretty much, and we saw this from the start of the race. The field was very separated from each other. Pretty much almost the entire race. Every single time there was a green flag run, we're here, and we saw, and just like last week, we saw Logano be pretty dominant earlier here. At as I believe by the time that we got to the competition caution, he had over a second lead over the second place car at the time, Dion Jr. And the reason for the competition caution was because I think they said during the race that I believe a new tire was being used, a slightly different new tire here, uh, unlike unlike previous times. This wasn't for like rain or anything like that. But anyway, and also at the same time, we saw Alex Bowman blow up, which resulted him in finishing, I want to say, dead last. And we also saw a little moment on pit road, when everyone came down, of Hamlin and Allgaier making contact right here. But this didn't really affect any of the days. But anyway, here, lap 31 here, a restart right here. Joe Gargano was leading right here, but then Joe Gargano would lose the leader here to Jimmy Johnson right here. And so on lap 43, Jimmy Johnson became the new leader here. And then for like a brief moment, it was actually a Hendrick 1-2-3 right here with Johnson Jr. Kane 1-2-3. And then before a cycle of green flag pit stops on lap 72, we actually saw Dillon Jr. catching Jimmy Johnson right here, but Jr. was never able to get around him because of the green flag pit stops right here. And then 7 laps after the cycle of green flag pit stops, it ended right here. And then very quickly after that, caution number 2 came out, debris in turn number 1, and then some drivers came up to here. But then on lap 87 here, we got a restart here, and Kevin Harvick, who I believe started, I want to say he started 18th, was all of a sudden right on Jimmy Johnson's back bumper on the restart here, and then Harvick was able to zoom by Johnson here on lap 91 here, but it wasn't because, but it wasn't exactly because Harvick had a faster car. It was because Jimmy Johnson reported a vibration here, which caused him to come down the road on the same lap as he lost the lead, and that would unfortunately lead to the start of what was awful day right here. And apparently there were reports of a loose right front wheel, which caused the vibration right here. But after that, Kevin Harvick began his downs right here by having pretty much a 2-second lead over the second place car at the time, which was Daniel Jr. And then lap 129, we saw another batch of green flag pit stops right here, and then we saw drivers like Regan Smith and Brad Keselowski get penalized right here. Brad Keselowski's reason was kind of I would say, awkward. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. Brad Keselowski's reason for getting penalized is kind of a rare occurrence in most NASCAR events, but wasn't exactly rare in this race because it happened I want to say 4 times or whatever. Unmonitored tire right here left the pit box right here, and as I said, this happened 4 times, and I believe that is the most amount of times I've ever seen that happening since me watching NASCAR back in 2007. Here, but then shortly after the green flag pit stops, we saw our third caution right here, and it was for that unmonitored tire from Brad Keselowski's team right here. We had pit stops right here, but these drivers were at the tail end of the lead lap right here. Then lap 145 here, a restart. Harvick led, but then 1 lap later, Martin Truex Jr. was able to actually take the lead away from Harvick right here. Yeah, I'm really sorry about my dog barking, if you can hear it. Anyway, so Martin Truex Jr. led for a brief moment here, but then lap 148, Kevin Hart retook it. As we saw Michael Net at the same time actually smack the wall. And he didn't do it just once. He hit it twice right here on lap 154, 6 laps later. But they stayed green here, and then we saw Kyle Larson. There was a brief moment in the race where Kyle Larson. I don't know if it was exactly because of like a dropped the cylinder, or maybe thinking about someone else. But there was a brief moment during the middle of the race where Kyle Larson's car was acting very fishy. Oops. And then around like one lap. And then around lap 167 right here, Casey Kane was actually closing in on Harvick right here, becoming one of the few drivers to catch Harvick on a long run right here. But then lap 174 here, caution number 4, Jimmy Johnson blows right from tire here, which and then a couple seconds after he hit the wall, Jeff Gordon, who were trying to avoid right here, made contact. Gordon got nose damage from hitting the back of the 26 pretty hard, and the 26 also went up in the wall here, and that would also kind of make Jeff Gordon's day even worse here. I think he was around the top 10 when that happened. And then there was another cycle of pit stops here, but then on lap 178 here, another restart. Okay, I needed just another quick break right there. But anyway, and then Kevin Hart once again had a large lead, but that green flag stretch won't last very long, because the thing is, once again, Jimmy Johnson hit the wall right front tire once again. This time in turns 3 and 4, the caution before that, it was entering turn 1 here. Johnson hits the wall, goes to the garage for, I want to say, about 30 laps, and then came back on the track right here. And one of the things that I remember from the Jimmy Johnson interview was that apparently the vibration the first time and the second time, I think he said all 3 of those, that like all 3 of those instances were because of different reasons are here. So that's kind of just interesting. But the thing is, as a Jimmy Johnson fan, and I actually said this in the comments when NASCAR uploaded the video of Johnson showing his struggles are here. I feel like, to be honestly, as a 48 fan, I kind of feel like that if you have a vibration followed by not 1, but in this case 2 times where you hit the wall, I just kind of feel like that you might want to like check what's going on with your team. And I kind of feel like that. I also feel like that if you're Jimmy Johnson, who seems to have more tire problems than any of his other teammates in the last several years, you might just want to like check that, but check around that. But to me, I kind of felt like that from the moment Johnson had his vibration, that it was not going to be, that wasn't going to get much better. Because the thing is, I still remember last July in New Hampshire, Johnson, who started second in that race, had vibration, and then about 15 laps later, he hit the wall, and it was all on the same tire. So yeah. So after having 2 top 5s and a win last week, Johnson, I believe finished 41st. I believe so. Oh well, but Jimmy Johnson is in the chase, and plus Las Vegas, either way, does not help Johnson at all once he gets the chase, because the thing is, there is no track like Las Vegas, I would say, shape wise. But anyway, enough about Jimmy Johnson here. Let's get down to a restart here. But actually, wait a second. I actually skipped something here. During a cycle of pit stops on lap 187 here, under caution, Joe Logano got busted for too fast on pit road, and that would happen not once but twice actually. But anyway, lap 192 right here, a restart, and then we saw right here on lap 193 coming to lap 194 here. We saw Casey Kane and Carl Edwards here running side by side, exiting turn 4 here. Carl Edwards' car washes up the track a little bit right here, and it causes Casey Kane to go up in the wall right here. And then Casey Kane, frustrated, actually entering turn 1, he smacks down into Carl Edwards here, and then it collects a Hamlin getting cosmetic damage here. But Carl Owens' car. He almost saves it, but he goes for a spin right here, which resulted in him going behind the wall and also ruining Casey Kane's day as well. Right here, and then when Carl Edwards was interviewed, he accepted full blame for that crash right here, and he understands Casey Kane's frustration. And I feel like in that case, if I was Casey Kane, I think I would definitely be frustrated and might want to get back and would have wanted to get back at Carl Edwards later in that race, as well. So I can understand why Casey Kane retaliated here. And I would kind of say, like, other than Harvick winning, that was kind of the like highlight of the race in my opinion. But anyway, lap 199 here, restart here, and then we saw I would say the last lead change that didn't happen during green flag pit stops here. Johan Jr. was actually able to get around Harvick right after the restart because Harvick did not get a good restart here. So Johan Jr. led, I believe, I want to say one lap, but then on lap 201, Harvick got the lead back right here, and then zoom all the way to lap 2, number 30 here. The final green flag pit stops begin right here, and then for like a short period, I want to say like 10 laps, we saw drivers like Ryan Newman, Joe Logano, Brad Keselowski, Regan Smith, also out about 10 laps longer, because they pitted about 10 laps later than everyone else. And what they were all hoping for was a caution here, but they didn't exactly get it as they all came off to pit road, around between laps 246 and 251 here. And then lap 252 right here, Harvick regains leader here. And for a brief moment, we saw second and third place, Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Newman catching Harvick for a brief moment here. But I think the only reason for that happening was that Harvick was behind lap tracker here, and but nevertheless, it just simply wasn't on time right here. Final lap, Kevin Harvick dominates the whole entire race right here and wins the race. And as I said at the top of the show, 6 consecutive top 2 finisher here. The last 3 races last year and the first 3 races this year. Talk about momentum right here, and I feel like that is the key word to describe Harvick right now. He has a lot of momentum under him right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to go anyway soon. And the last time someone got 6 consecutive top 2 finishes, it was actually Jeff Gordon back in 1996 right here. I just had to take a quick break right there as well. So as I mentioned, Kevin Harvick here, he definitely has a lot of momentum right here, and it doesn't look like that momentum is going to go away any soon unless he gets involved in someone else's mess. That's the only way I see him losing all that momentum right here. But it definitely looks like Harvick is so far destined to have a great season and possibly win back-to-back championships here. But this is only race 3. It's still, I would say, almost too early to tell right here. But other drivers that also seem to have that also are looking to have good seasons is Martin Truex Jr. right here. And he's been talked a lot about ever since the Sprint Unlimited right here. But and I guess what am I trying to say right here? Martin Truex Jr. right here. Yeah, I'm definitely am rooting for Martin Truex Jr. right here, especially after the awful season he had last year right here. But it does look like that after that, what we have seen so far, Martin Truex Jr. is definitely gonna be someone to watch to possibly get a win in the next several weeks. And I can definitely say that I think we could easily see him win a race here. and as I also mentioned at the top of the show, we saw drivers like Johnson, saw drivers such as Johnson and Logano are here, who were very good the last two races, just kind of like stumble, like for example Johnson, hitting the wall twice, having the vibration, and then he had Logano get busted for speeding twice. We're here. And I can't exactly say or even remember if I saw like anyone today who didn't have two good races, but then was able to recover this week. I don't remember seeing a driver like that. But if you have a driver, you can tell me in the comments below. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Okay, fine. I might as well do this right here, but let me go through where everyone finished right here in case you were curious or just don't remember. Harvick won the race. Truex Jr. second, Newman third, Junior fourth, Earnhardt Jr. that is, Danny Hamlin fifth, Allmendinger sixth, Becca Keselowski seventh, Kyle Larson eighth here, Matt Kenseth ninth, Leon 10th, February 11th, Menard 12th, Brian Scott 13th, Greg Biffle 14th, Brian Vickers 15th, Kurt Busch, Regan Smith 16th right here, Casey Kane 17th, Jeff Gordon 18th, Ryan Blaney 19th, Austin Dillon 20th, 21st, Clint Blair, 22nd, David Reagan, 23rd, David Gillen, 24th, Sam Horse Jr., Casey Mears 25th, 26th, Eric Almirola, 27th, Dan Kirkpatrick, 28th, Trevor Bain, 29th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 30th, Michael McDowell, 31st, Justin Allgaier, 32nd, Cole Witt, 33rd, Tony Stewart, 34th, Josh Wise, 35th, Lane Castle, 36th, Gigi Daly, 37th, Brett Moffitt, 30th, Brendan Gaughan, 39th, Michael Nett, 40th, Jeff Burton, 48th, Jimmy Johnson, 42nd, Carl Edwards, and 43rd, Alex Boomer here. And speaking of drivers, and as I was going through where I'm finished, I mentioned how Mark Truex Jr. Is starting this season pretty good. AJ Allmendinger is definitely another person to point out here. I know points don't matter as much. As much as I know like points positions haven't mattered almost as much as they are in previous seasons because of last year's new chase format here. But I believe AJ Allmendinger is actually inside the top 10 points actually. So, and I'll definitely say look for AJ Allmendinger to get some pretty like nice top fives and top tens, and maybe even like win a race not too soon, maybe right here. But anyway, I guess the last thing I'll cover is basically next week at Phoenix. Even though I live in Arizona, I'm not going to be able to go that race. I'll be saving up all my money to on other stuff and to hopefully go to the Phoenix race in November, which I think will be a more exciting race than the race next week. I gotta say, because the November race is the second to last race in the chase and is the last race in the eliminator round. So I think that race in November is going to be very exciting. But anyway, next week at Phoenix. And speaking of momentum, I think Harvick is definitely going to carry the momentum in Phoenix here, because Harvick has won the last four out of 5 Phoenix races right here. And if there is one driver to beat, that would definitely be the 4 car right here. And that's kind of all I really have to like say right here. So I think I'm going to end this right now here. Thank you for watching this race review. I really appreciate it. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye.